Živjo! My name is Ivy and welcome back to my channel. Today we are looking into the books I was reading in July. Let's go. So, the book that I started this month is The Girl on the Train. Trigger warnings, there's a lot of alcohol and abuse. And the reason why I give such a low number, even though Rachel is the main character, sometimes she just really annoyed me. But then again, Rachel is an alcoholic. A lot of stuff didn't go her way. Her life is falling apart. Her husband left her. He brought home a different woman and she was already pregnant, so she had to move out, get a divorce. She started drinking even heavier than she already did because she was trying for a child and it just wasn't working. And she just got depressed, started drinking. Then that happened. She divorced her husband. She started drinking heavier. She lost her job. Now she's living with one of her friends. And even that is just not going so well. This book has twists. It just keeps giving you like hints of who the murderer is. Yes, someone died in this book. And Rachel, our girl, is trying to help solve it. But nobody's taking her seriously because she's drunk. Every time you meet her, she's either super drunk. So who's gonna take you serious? Even if you do have good intentions to help, your background isn't showing that you're actually doing something. I mean, she is not getting back on her feet to get a job, to move on from her husband. It just didn't look good for her, and sometimes she really annoyed me. But then again, I don't want to be in that situation where alcohol is my one and only best friend, because I've seen what alcohol can actually do to you. Yeah, I was a little bit annoyed with Rachel. There's been cheating a lot in this book. Nobody's being faithful. Abuse is happening in relationships mostly. I mean, it's kind of heartbreaking for Rachel. At the end of the book, she was starting to get better with her life. But for Rachel, these things to happen right when she lost her first child. I mean, she didn't lose it. They were trying to get it for her to get pregnant, and it didn't happen. But to have a supportive husband, that didn't happen for Rachel. Tom did show like he is a good husband, but no. It's not just Rachel's fault that she ended up like that. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. The book isn't bad, even though I did give this. It's just that certain characters really just, I don't know, I just couldn't connect with them. They just pissed me off. There, I said it. But otherwise, the settings and everything was pretty good. Sadly, Rachel did kind of make me angry the most because every time she tried to get back on her feet to get better, she just falls back into that hole over and over and over again. And the more she was trying to get to solve the case, to not solve, but help to find the murderer and what happened, it's best that she just didn't say anything and all that, because everything was going against her. People just didn't believe her. In the end, the police were tracking her because she was coming drunk way too much on the same street. Her ex-husband lives with his new wife, and things are just not going too well. I don't know. Basically, the book is good. I do recommend it. Don't look at this. You need to read books by yourself to see if you like it or not. I do suggest that you do read this book. So I finally got to read Archer's Voice. I didn't know I had this in my local library. I heard a lot about it. I mean, Pinterest just keeps popping the same books over and over again. And I said, okay, fine. And I found it in my local library and said, okay, cool, I'm going to read it. I love it. I love it. That's all I can say. It's such a beautiful book. It's a story about two people dealing with a very dark past. Our girl Bree moved away from her hometown. She drove like 5 hours away. She had no plan where to go. She only knows that she needs to leave. She ended up in a new town, a small one. And she met really nice people. A nice lady that was her neighbor. She gave her a suggestion to go there where they are looking for a job. So she went there and she met this wonderful guy named Archer. Now, Archer is a man who couldn't talk. He couldn't communicate with voice, but only with his hands. And the thing is, it's not that he can't hear you. He can. He just can't speak. He had an accident that has to deal with his past. Lucky for him, Bree knows hand signs, so they could talk to each other because Bree's dad was kind of the same. They both helped each other with dealing with the past. I think Bree helped Archer a lot more because Archer kind of just closed himself in and he hardly even left his home, his little house. So she kind of helped him to go a little bit outside. He even visited her where she works, even though he really needed a lot of courage to do that. People just didn't talk to him. Archer also did kind of I guess, ignore them the way he said it. Because he didn't know how to communicate and nobody could communicate with him. He just shut himself off and just didn't deal with people. So he was very lonely. Even though he has a cousin, that's all I'm gonna say, who was also very interested in Bree, but Bree still chose Archer. For having a cousin, he even didn't want nothing to do with Archer. So that is not okay in my book. Yeah, I already had kind of like second thoughts, and I was happy that Bree picked Archer. And what was his name? Yeah, I even forget his name. It was with T. Was it Travis? Something like that. Basically, they went from complete strangers, friends for a short amount of time, and straight to lovers. And this is why I like this book a lot more, because when I was reading romance, it's usually the guy was super older, either he was rich, blah, blah, blah. Either sometimes the girl was not a virgin or she was a virgin. In this book, our boy is a virgin. And I was like, what? He's 23 years old, never kissed, nothing. Bree is his first girl. And I love it. It was so good. If you haven't read this book, I do recommend it. Also, I did notice that in my library we do have some more books from her, so I am excited to check them out as well. If you haven't read Archer's Voice and you're looking for something different in romance, I highly recommend it. I also wanted to mention that I did not feel annoyed, neither with Bree or Archer. These two are so well written. Some authors really need to take note. For example, Colleen Hoover, because certain books that I was reading from her, she does not write very well female characters. And here I was not annoyed with neither Bree nor Archer. So the next book, I thought is going to be more horror because the way this picture what the book looks, but actually just a fairy tale retelling of The Little Mermaid. And I have to say that I really like the character Amelia, who is the mermaid. She was a curious little mermaid that she decided she wants to break up of her family and check what is all over the sea and basically the land. So she did hear that mermaids can get legs and walk on land. So she was caught by a fisherman, but the fisherman didn't keep her like, oh, she's a prize and all that. He freed her and she saw something in his eyes, and that is loneliness. And she was lonely as well because she left her family for I don't know for how long, but she's been by herself for a really long time. She tried to go on land to see if she does get feet. She does. She goes to this fisherman and apparently she becomes his wife. Not forced. She chose him. They were in love and all of that. They sadly didn't have children. Maybe they couldn't. But yeah, her husband Jack passed away and she was grieving and she was very sad. And she was always there by the sea waiting for him until the word of a mermaid spread. And here comes a guy named Levi who offers her to come to New York to be this exhibition in a museum because she's a mermaid and they want to show up a mermaid and cash up, right? And she rejected him. Then she thought this is the reason why she left her family. She wanted adventure. She wanted to see things. So she went to New York. She found Levi and she made a deal with this Mr. Barnum. Basically the owner of the museum. Levi is the lawyer. Yeah, but she kept telling them that, yeah, she is a mermaid. Mr. Barnum didn't believe her at all. Levi as well, but Levi kind of could tell because her eyes were not eyes of a human. You could clearly tell that she is not human. So yeah, when she showed them that she is a mermaid, they did have like money, all that, but she was smart. This is why I like Amelia. She was not that clueless, dumb, a girl from the sea. She was smart. Jack, her first husband, actually did teach her a couple of things, and basically she's not dumb. I love it because she was not a pushover to Mr. Barnum. Because he wanted to make money, she wanted to profit from it as well. After all, she's the one showing the people what she is. And she wanted money so she can travel around the world because she wants to see other things around the world and how people live in other places. It wasn't easy. There were many disagreements. He wanted to control Amelia, but no way. Also, Levi was more on Amelia's side. Obviously, they kind of had an attraction. Amelia first didn't want to have anything to do with him because she still thought, even though Jack was gone for a long time, that she would kind of betray him. But in the end, they gave it a try. Levi and Amelia got married, and they started to rock a little bit. But yeah, there was also danger involved in all of this, but I'm not gonna spoil any more than that. I think the big book was okay. It was completely different what I was expecting. You know, I did watch Little Mermaid, but overall I liked the book. I think the book was really good. It surprised me. Amelia is a great written character. And this is the last book of this month, You and Me on Vacation. One thing I have to say, I almost bought the exact same book. It says people we meet on vacation, and it's the same thing basically. And I would be so pissed if I bought that book and it was the same damn thing. I don't agree with that. I bought just this one, You and Me on a Vacation, and I love it. I really like this book. The funny thing is, okay, actually, they are best friends. I think they met when they were 18 or something like that. But they wasted 12 years. If they were just honest with each other, they could have been happy, perhaps dating till now. But okay, they met, I think they both went to high school or something like that. I think they were 18. And they become kind of like friends, and every year they will go on a vacation together. Yeah, of course, feelings did involve every time they were but they were scared to tell one another what they feel because they don't want to ruin their friendship. So every year they went these super great vacations. They always save up money, and Poppy would always plan where they would be going. I think then she started to work for a magazine where they basically paid her to go there and take shots and talk about this place and where to go, where's the best food and all that stuff. That way she even got even better chances to take Alex, her best friend, to these new locations and all that. But the last 2 years, something happened. Vacation where they split up. And the funny thing is, it happened in Croatia. Guess where I was on my vacation reading this book? In Croatia. That kind of surprised me, but yeah. So they hardly had communicated with one another. Poppy decided, okay, I'm going to text him if he wants to go for that trip that they usually go once a year. He said yes. And also his brother is getting married, and so she's kind of invited as well. She just wanted for them to go back the way things were, to fix the problem that they did 2 years ago in Croatia. But yeah, there were ups and downs. things didn't go as planned. Yeah, they kind of had to figure out what they want, especially Poppy. Alex already told her what he wants. He wants to find himself a really nice girlfriend, get married, have children together. Basically, he wants to settle down. While Poppy was very unsure, she is more driven for a career, but at the same time, she just realized a couple of things that she wanted to get out of her hometown because of horrible things that happened there, for her being bullied and all of that. And she just didn't feel good being there. So she had to think a lot what she wants. So after she figures after a lot of thinking, and she went to therapy and he went to therapy because he wasn't okay either, in the end they did come together. But it's really cute. It's really cute. I enjoyed reading this book. It was so good. Highly recommend. That would be for July of books that I was reading. I'm still going to look for more books for August to read a little bit more. Basically, like I said, summer books. Have you read any of these books? If yes, please write. Do you think about them? Did you like them or not? Or perhaps this will give you a little try to actually read them. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little video, and I hope to see you in my next one. Ciao!